Hello, welcome to my walk around the lake of the 17th of August 2021. It is coming to the end of winter. It'll be spring soon and the birds are all out and about. Nesting season has begun for some of them. That's the pewee, also known as a mudlark or magpie lark. Strangely, it's not related to either a magpie or a lark. There's the Dusky Moorhen sitting on her nest. And the pelican. That's the little black cormorant just flying there. Cormorants have got a hooked beak. They like to sit on rocks with their wings spread out to dry off. And so do the darters, but the darters don't have that hooked beak. This is a wattle. It's still in full bloom. A lot of the wattle is finished now, but this one's still going. A Dusky Moorhen. They look very much like the swamp hens. Australian water dragon having a sun. I like lying out in the sun to warm up. It's been a bit cool. So the cap there, I use my photos for my Redbubble shop. Anything you see that you've got a product there with a picture of the animal or bird, you'll see the links to the pages in my Redbubble shop in the description of this video if you're interested in having a look at other products that also use that same image. There's about 85 different products at the moment. Now listen up carefully here, because the kookaburras are off in the distance and you can barely hear them. I often hear them laughing when I am at the lake, but this time I was videoing something and got the sound of them singing. I think they were near where the Corellas are in this tree. They weren't that far away, but the sound of them wasn't very clear. I mean, it was clear, but it wasn't very loud in the video. It was quite loud for me when I was holding the camera. So it was a bit disappointing that they wasn't better recorded than it was. That's the swamp hen. They're very much like the Dusky Moorhens, but the Dusky Moorhens are smaller, got the yellow tip on the beak, and also I've noticed that the Dusky Moorhen feet, their toes are so much longer than the swamp hens. Those tortoises, they're often on that rock, or a pelican likes to be on that rock some days as well. I've even seen cormorants on the rock. And last time I was at the lake, there was a Dusky Moorhen with a heap of Dusky Moorhen chickens, baby chicks sitting on the rock. That video still hasn't been put together, but I will get there. That's a coot, Eurasian coot. They've got that white bit down the front of their face. Their beaks are so white. That's the darter. We'll see a lot more of it towards the end of the video, where it's caught itself a fish. And watch it while it tries to eat it. Very dramatic. The pelican. That's just some grass growing beside the lake. Oh yeah, pelican flying away. The black swans. It's so exciting when I see the superb fairy wren, the male especially, nice and blue. The swans. They haven't been at the lake lately when I've been there. That doesn't mean they're not at the lake, just that I haven't seen them when I've been. but they've probably gone somewhere else to nest. That's just what I think anyway. I don't really know. If you're wondering what that very loud screeching that's coming up is, it's probably rainbow lorikeets, parrots. They're darting around the place all the time, but it's very difficult to get pictures of them. They're almost as common as pigeons here at the moment. The swans are heading off down the other end of the lake. That's what another cormorant flying by. When the cormorants are swimming, they have their head poking out of the water and their backs are usually out of the water as well. Oh look, we've found some more superb fairy wrens, but these are either immature males or females because they're brown. Only the mature male has the blue colour, and when they're in breeding plumage they're quite bright blue. I was so excited to actually be able to see them. They're there all the time, but most times when I go past they're well hidden and I don't get a chance to see them. So that's why you're seeing so much of the little fairy wren at the moment. I just got excited I could actually capture them. They're in that bush, but both of them are coming out again. Here they come. They're so hard to photograph because they just dart around so much. But I got that snap of both of them. There's still two of them in that one. And we're moving on. There's another Australian water dragon. There's a link in the description to a product page on the Redbubble website where I've got some of my artwork up for them to sell. And if they sell it, well then I'll get a little commission. Not much, but it's exciting. Now the wattle, see, it's finished now. It was bright yellow, but now it's gone brown. The flowers will have turned into seeds shortly. Yeah, I've got some bottle brush up on Redbubble as well. I've never seen the billy goat weed up so close before. I was very surprised to see how long it was. Yes, Little Pied Cormorant's got himself up on there and a couple of different products. I mean, a couple of different designs. There's this one where I've just put him in a circle. And I don't know why I call him him because I always think of it as a him. But it could be a female, I don't know. But it's the only one at the lake, so it probably is just a lone male. Mouse pad. Now see, I did a little watercolour of him as well. That's in a different design. But the links will be in the description if you want to go and see more of them. It's not on my website, it's on the Redbubble website. Redbubble's a print-on-demand site that started in Australia about 10 years ago. But now it is global and it is on the stock exchange. You can buy shares in it if you want. Moving on from the little cormorant, we'll see a lot more of him in this episode because I discovered him diving and I managed to get video of him swimming underwater catching things. just love the colours and these pigeons. They've got all these iridescent bits in them. See, like the purple there? And they're so tame, they walk up so close. And yet if you approach them, they'll fly off. The grevillea. The parrots, it's full of nectar. Now see this Dusky Moorhen sitting on the nest. I'm almost in the water here, right up on the edge of the bank. And you see that tree that she's around? That dead tree. You'll see that shortly on the other side of the pond. So you can see where her nest is. Now I'm continuing to walk towards the bridge, and I've crossed the bridge, and there it is. See the dead tree? You can just about make her out there. There she is on her nest. That's the same bird that we just saw a minute ago on the nest. Now this grevillea, when I went for a walk there the other day, see how it's all bushed all along there? It's all been pulled out. It's gone now. It's completely vanished. They're doing a lot of work at the lake. That's why the water's going down. That pelican must have taken off. Now the little black cormorants, we saw one of them flying earlier. Now they're sitting on pipes or on that dragon fountain. The Dusky Moorhen. That's just a tree. The Banksia. Now that pipe, that's come up. It was underwater before. That's Corellas. They're so noisy. You'll see more of them too. They're going a bit crazy today. The pigeons. That little ramp that goes down into the water. Several times when I've been walking recently, there's big trucks on it because they've been doing a lot of work on these pipes. You can see the cormorants, they've got a hooked beak. That's very much like the darters, because the darters get up onto rocks and those pipes as well and spread their wings to dry out. But when the darters swim, they have their whole body underwater, just their heads poke out. And the cormorants swim with their, usually you can see their backs. And the darters have got a really sharp beak, they spear their prey with their beaks, whereas the cormorants have got a hook on the end of their beak. We will see that darter trying to swallow a big fish shortly, or closer towards the end of the video anyway. See, when I'm walking around the lake, I never know what I'm going to come across. Now I'm standing right at the edge of the bank, and there's a Eurasian coot right at my feet almost, and it suddenly starts shouting, and that's it, you can hear it calling out. And as I was walking on this day, I saw this group of people. There would have been at least a dozen of them all standing on the path, watching something. But I was a long way off and I couldn't see what they were watching. And I gradually approached. I thought, well, whatever it is that they're watching, it won't be there when I get to that location, that's for sure. So I won't worry too much about it. But by the time I got there, they were ready to give up and walk off. So I got a good view of the action. And I got the end of the action, which was the best bit, I think. And you're going to see it later in this video. Oh, we got 5 of them on that pipe now. The cormorants, you see, in my mind, they sit on there and they dry out, and they want to get dry. But maybe they're just warming up, because when a bird has been sitting on the perch for long enough to have got dry, you'd think they'd want to stay dry, but no, they don't. They just dive straight back in again. Here he is, Little Pied Cormorant under the water. See the bubbles? He's under there, he's letting out the bubbles. He's all very wet at the moment. We're going to watch him for a while. Eventually we'll actually see him swimming under the water. It's a little bit far off at the moment, you can't quite see, but you can see the bubbles where he is. more of the Corellas there. They're making a lot of noise. There they are. There's a few of them there now. You can see them, their shadows on the water too, so when they're flying around, screeching their heads off. There he is. Now you might see him. It's a bit hard to tell where he is sometimes. There's a pelican too. Must have come back. There's a bit more. He's caught something there. There's a bit more video coming up in a second or two. We will get him under the water. There he is. His feet. I was trying to get where when he dives, he pushes back really hard with his feet to push himself down, and I didn't really capture that action as well as I'd hoped. And there, you should be able to see him. There he is, swimming around under the water. He is getting things. He comes up and eats stuff. You can just see him there in these bubbles. Probably just about seen enough of him now. I was just so excited to see him like that, swimming under the water, because the water's got so shallow now. There's the swamp hen. We're finished with the little cormorant. Eurasian coot. Now these are near where we're going to see the data. At this point there's still a lot of people standing around watching, and I can't see what's going on because there's so many people. But then they all suddenly wander off, and I realise what is happening. And you'll see what I'm talking about very shortly. There, see behind the rock? Not that stick that's lying in the water. That's that darter. See the spiky beak, and he's got a big fish in his mouth. Can't swallow it. The people must have been standing there for 10 minutes or more watching. There's the activity of it, trying to hope they'll see it swallow the fish. But they walked off. Got sick of watching it, I think. At this point, he drops it in the pond, and I'm pretty sure that that's the end of the story, but it isn't. We don't see him drop it because I've given up. I looked up to see the Corella in the tree that's just above his head. There's the Corella. And then I realised that he's jumped back in the water, chased the fish, and he's got it again. That fish has got to be dead because he spears it before he tries to eat it with that really sharp beak. These are the ones that sit on the rocks just like a cormorant with their wings spread. But they're not cormorants, they're darters. We saw the cormorants already, they're different. You'll see him drop this fish, or just throw it in the water. I'm not sure if it's an accidental drop or if he just threw it. See, dropped it, but it hasn't got away. He's got it again. We will see it get swallowed. It's very close to that point. There it's going down. Trouble is stuck in the neck now. How do you get that huge fish down that tiny little skinny neck? But you see how they swim with their whole body under the water? The tail's usually under the water as well. You just usually see the head and a bit of the skinny neck. Some people call them snake birds because their neck is so long and skinny. See that fish is just battling to get it down. At But they are different bird from the cormorant, although from a distance when they're sitting on the rocks with their wings spread out, you'd think they were cormorants. So you can still see the fish stuck almost down the bottom of his neck. That's those coots we saw earlier. Now he's up on the rock. It might even have the wings spread there. Looks like that fish is still pretty high, hasn't gone properly down yet, but we'll leave that and move on. As the pelican took off. Look at the feet on that moorhen. They seem to have much longer and skinnier toes than the swamp hens have got. Here's a little cormorant drying off on a post. I wasn't going to flick it into video mode because he could have flown off. I tried that one other walk not so long ago, and by the time I got the camera set up for a video, the bird had flown away. These are just some weeds. I'm sure they attract the insects that the little fairy wrens like to eat, and I suppose other insect-eating birds. That's the bird island. That's a swamp hen. See, its toes are not as skinny and long as this moorhen's. I'm just about ready to start climbing up the hill to get back to the car park. So if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed and would like to see more of my walks around the lake and other videos that I do, because I'm planning a trip to Gympie shortly. They've got a lake with birds, hundreds of birds in it. And there's going to be more of me visiting the New Farm Park and other parks for the rose gardens and things. So thank you for watching. Bye bye for now. And I'll see you in the next video.